Hi, we are live on IG and YouTube, people. Welcome back to Talk Talk Live. It is me. Oh, wow. Let me just move this a little bit that way for my YouTube viewers. Okay, we're back on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. We are live on IG. Yes, indeed. We are live on two fronts. Yes, indeed. And welcome to Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. And I hope you had a great day. Yesterday we had a little bit of a storm there yesterday, but looks like that blew away here in the city of Toronto. Let me angle this thing down here for you so you can get a better view of me. Hope you all are well. Hope you're doing sweetly and nicely and well today. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. And yeah, today is a hot topic. We're getting into a hot topic today. It's why corny men rule the world and leave the past behind. I decided to expand the topic of this issue today because for the most part, yes, it seems that corny, lames, nerds of the world are the ones who control it. There's no doubt about that. No matter how cool or uncool you may be, no matter how cool or uncool you may seem, corny does rule the world, unfortunately. And anyone who's designated as such literally get a leg up on the competition because of it. It's like the kick up the ass that nobody thought that they could have. And yeah, but how are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are enjoying the work week that is. I am doing it as well. Again, I'm back into the office tomorrow, but today I thought I'd just put out a show today, and then we'll be back live on Thursday. And that will be the end of the week, unless I want to do something on the weekends. But I will be busy this weekend, as per usual. But it seems, let's get into it. I mean, the interview heard around the Black Twitter, Black Facebook, Black whatever, Black Instagram, on where's it now? On World Star, of course, is the interview between Michael B. Jordan and that other lady. I don't know who the hell she is because anyway, she's irrelevant quite simply because at the end of the day, she made herself irrelevant, and to a point where now she has gone. Well, but she has indeed gone viral because of her. One interview that she had on with Michael B. Jordan in front of a Creed, in advance of a Creed premiere. I think maybe in Los Angeles or Chicago or one of these big places. I think it's Los Angeles. But again, let's. But it's funny how people and seasons change, but sooner rather than later. It becomes, what goes around comes around, and things come full circle, and people are left to deal with their past transgressions at the end of the day. What's done in darkness soon comes to light, and in this instance, it did. It definitely came to light, and there's nothing more can be said about it. But so we're gonna get into this interview between Michael B. Jordan, and let me just let's just get into the browser right now because I thought it was a hot topic. I thought that we should. Let me just adjust this here because this is a later broadcast that I wanted to talk about. But yes, let us get into the commentary. I believe we can yes, that's better. Indeed. We'll start out with my girl Riva TV. She gives a bit of commentary from a black woman's perspective, an advanced black woman's perspective as to this issue, and quite simply, she breaks it down for what it is. And I think we're gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take it from a woman's perspective, take it from a man's perspective. And then I'm going to show you the corny people of the world, quote unquote, the corny people of the world who are running it at this point in time, which are most of the richest people in the world. So let's get into it on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for joining me on live on IG and YouTube. We're going to start off with Riva here and the actual interview. And yes, let us get into it right now. Let's go. Thank you for joining me. And yes, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go.
In Newark, okay?
You're the Corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. You did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name, but yeah, he is obviously killing things out here. We know each other. We go way back, all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
You're the Corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. You did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name, but yeah, he is obviously killing things out here.
Before my girl Reba starts in, shout out to Michael B. Jordan for calling out the hypocrisy, calling out the bullshit, calling out those who admonished him way back when. He took notes. He took names, and he made sure that when he became as successful as he is today, that he would be checking all those, including my lady right here, who I don't even want to know about, quite simply. I don't even want to know her name. I'll probably know it in passing as we go through this episode of Talk Live. He made sure that if anybody wants to mention it in the comments, please do. But I don't care to remember, quite simply. But he took notes, he took names, and he made sure that at the end of the day, everybody who wrote him off were going to get checked, and she got checked. She got checked. Michael B. Jordan must have eyed this girl out, must have made it an appointment to make sure that he was getting an interview with her and put her in her place. Made sure that was going to be embarrassing to her as she was to him way back when. And so to you, Michael B. Jordan, congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. You have done what many men would have wished they could have done to many of their admonishers, many of those who ridiculed them in the past. And that is embarrass them in public. Embarrass them in public. No truer words can be said. We all wish we had this moment, but again, we either never had the time, never had the place. But again, I think our actions speak louder than words, and we can move on from there. But let's get a woman, let's get a thoughtful woman's approach to this, first of all. And we're going to go listen to Reba TV and see how she reacts to this quickly. And then we're going to give our 2 cents as well.
Let me tell you something. It is obviously clear that these women do not get enough of being embarrassed. Okay? Obviously, we all know who Michael B. Jordan is. This is an interviewer who he so graciously humbled. Because, a lot of these women like to say anything, do anything, be disrespectful to you, try to clown you out, that you're corny, that you're lame. And interestingly enough, as soon as you get popping, they're the same ones that don't necessarily come around and interview you, but they're the same ones that come back and try to holler. Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't me. I didn't say that. No, it wasn't me who said that. Misquoted for sure. Girl, you mad this man called you out because you thought you was going to get, an exclusive interview talking about, oh, yeah, I known him since way back, like y'all was cool. And then you had to partially admit that you were clowning him out. Oh, we just made fun of your name. That's all I did. Now, just when I thought that wasn't going to be bad enough, let me tell you what else happened. There was a woman who came out who was also a part of the quote-unquote friend group of that time. And she said, and I quote, okay, anything I said once, I'll say it again. Nick Cannon is corny too. He got mad women, babies, and money. I thought we were all doing our Sierra prayer for a nice, corny Russell Wilson to save us from these toxic ends. No. Corny ain't bad. That's 70% of the ends in this industry. Let's see how y'all act when he brings his next white girlfriend with him on the red carpet. Toodles. Okay. So much to unpack. I thought this clip was enough, but when I saw this, sometimes it's better that these women just put the shut to the up. Sometimes it's better that they just don't say nothing. Because this was already bad. Okay, this interview was already bad. He already embarrassed her, but then you come and you try to slight him like, well, nobody can't, tell me what to say out of my mouth. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. Now you added more people into the mix, and now to get other black women on your side, what you do is you go draw for something that's completely irrelevant to the conversation, as these women do. They're so predictable. The
one thing I'll say about black women, well, anybody. I won't say we'll use black women as an example, but anybody who calls out our names in this way these days is the fact that you're doing us a favor. We thank you for doing this, because we could have gone through our lives meandering through life, unchallenged, unfettered, happy-go-lucky, and not giving a care in the world, but you decided to pick on us. You thought that we were the ones to mess with. Hey, listen, I was one of the... In high school, I would be considered one of these corny dudes, but again, I had a sense of humor, so I could reasonably escape it. Reasonably do that. But the fat jokes were still there, were still around. And, some corny jokes were there and about, but I took a mental note of that. I made sure that no one would be able to call me that again. And this is what happened to Michael B. Jordan. He made sure that no one would be able to call him that again. He made sure of that. And as I said, he took names, he took numbers. He made sure that if anybody stepped in his way from his past who embarrassed him then, would feel his wrath now. Would feel his wrath right now. And kudos to him. That's why I say the best thing, and I repeat, the best thing anybody could do to a young man is ridicule him. Is to bully him. Now again, there are serious consequences for that, and hopefully he doesn't go to those serious consequences. But for those who thrive through the pressure, who are able to survive the fire that is the bullying and the name calling and the embarrassing, the world is yours. The world is yours. It is that kick up the... That's why I say this whole bullying campaign, it makes bullying is not necessarily a good thing, but to those who can survive it, it is the best thing that can happen to a person. Believe me, it is. Because people are remembered, names are taken down, attitudes and actions are placed into a memory bank. You go on, you work on yourself, you make yourself a better person, and believe me, revenge is a dish best served cold. Redemption will always have an opportunity to present itself. And here it was. It's up to you how you deal with that, man.
They can't shame you. They don't have an insult to say. If they can't shame you about something else, they bring something that is completely unrelated to the conversation and then bring that in to try to prove their point, because they just have to be wrong and strong. They can't possibly say, oh yeah, I did say that, I shouldn't have said that was wrong. It wasn't her who said that, it was me, and I shouldn't have done that. Or just don't say nothing. Gotta say something. Gotta have a rebuttal. Gotta have, the last ooh-wee. It's embarrassing. Let's get into what she said, though. Okay, let's get into what she said before I start talking about some other things. She talking about we all aren't we all supposed to be doing a corny Sierra prayer for the nice corny guys to come and save us? This lets me know that a lot of you women out there that are pressuring these men to marry you and are pressuring these long-term relationships, talking about you want love, talking about you want this, talking about you want that, you really don't want that. You really like to be treated bad. You really want somebody to treat you as an option. So stop overly, going in when a man cheats. Stop overly trying to force a man to be committed to only you. Stop trying to base, the integrity of a person. Oh, he's a good man because he's faithful, or he's not a good man because he cheats. Because that's the man you really like. That's what you really like. You really like when a man is not committed to you. You really like when you're an option. You really like that player swag that men have. You really think that men who marry you are corny.
What the lady says is true. What the lady says is absolutely, totally true, and that is women at a younger age are drawn to toxic men. They just are. Not to say that nice guys finish last, because nice guys have a chance to redeem themselves later on in life and leave these sort of ladies in the dust. But here it is. When they are young, they want that bad boy. They want that Chad. They want that Tyrone. They want to be mistreated for some reason. They get a rush out of that for some reason. And it's been said from time immemorial. From time immemorial. And it's a shame, because now they cancel themselves out from, I wouldn't necessarily say relative success or relative, relative livelihood, but at the end of the day, they've canceled themselves out from high valuehood because of the fact that they make mistakes with these men. They're fast, they're loose. And at the end of the day, they are left to pay the price. With babies, with bad relationships, with psychological issues, with all sorts of drama that they crave, that they look for. But that's fine. The good guys are going to move on to bigger and better things, and they'll be left wishing that they had done better and knew better. Anybody who's gone through a bit of teasing, a bit of hazing, a bit of ridiculing and bullying, that's par for the course. As I said, bullying, though harmful to some, is the best thing for others. Bullying shouldn't happen, no. But to those it does happen to, it is an immediate kick in the ass that people need. That's why bullying in its entirety should not be cast aside. Because quite simply, it makes people better makes people better men, makes women better women. But definitely makes men better men. Because we take that admonishment, we take ourselves as coal and make ourselves into diamonds. That's Michael B. Jordan did, and leaves ladies like this in the dust. A lady who I don't care to know her name, quite simply. I don't. Because she made herself to look like a jackass. And it's unfortunate, but some people never learn. I mean, in youth, youth is wasted on the young, as they say. And in this instance, that's definitely true, because now she's made to look like a fool in front of millions. Let's continue.
But you say you want to be married, but you glorify the Russells, but y'all really want the Futures. Let's talk about it. You have more respect for the Future than you have for the Russell. And we know that because when y'all get around the Future, y'all just fall in line. Oh, yeah, well, I don't know why I let him treat me like this, but, you know, he just so fine. Or, you know, he just really know what he doing. He got that BDE. The man who's over here raising your kid, that's not his kid, okay, that you talk about is quote-unquote corny. The man who wants a committed relationship, who wants to be with one woman, y'all calling him corny. That's lame. Women think that men who want to marry them and want to commit to them and have a relationship is lame. Okay, fine. That's fine. So then stop trying to demean or diminish the men out here who got the swag like that, who walking around with BDE. Stop trying to make them seem like they're inadequate or they're beneath other men who are stepping up to the plate to marry you. Because if you're going to label the man who would marry you as corny, that means that Tyrone and them, what the internet like to call Pookie and Ray Ray, get more respect from you.
And that's a huge problem, especially in the black community, that these individuals. Yes, I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan's childhood friend. Oh, let's see. Oh, what's that? I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan's childhood friend. Here's the thing, and I thank you for the comment there, Cass. Thank you very much for the comment. Just getting back to what Reva had to say right there, and that is, it's a problem in our community where, well, in youth culture period these days, is that bad boys, Pookies, Ray Rays, Tyrones, Chads of the world, and their bad behavior is rewarded by women. It's rewarded by women, especially women of a younger age. And then, once they've been found out as such, once they've been run through, once they're considered a 304, once they're considered a everything but a child of God, and they run back to the good guys, run back to the corny ones to help clean up mess, there used to be an audience for that, but that's not happening anymore. It's not. Luckily for Sierra, she found her, Russell Wilson, and he was there to clean up the mess, take care of a kid that wasn't his. But usually that's not the way anymore, because there isn't any pride in that anymore. But getting back to it, it's a sickness in our community in which the worst of them all, what's considered the bad boys of the bunch, are seen as the catches and the apples of most young ladies' eyes, which is ridiculous. It's stunning. No other... Well, I wouldn't say that. I think it's a part of youth culture these days, but where being treated not nice is deemed worthy of attention, worthy of praise, worthy of love. And it makes no sense. It's some crazy, bizarro attitude that usually never wins. Usually it makes you takes you into bad areas and bad parts of life that most people can't get out of. But if they stayed on the straight and narrow, and if they listen to their parents, and if they followed the corny ones of the bunch, that they could be better off in life. But some people listen, and some people don't.
Then the stand-up guy who's just a nice guy, who wants one wife, who wants to do the right thing, who wants to build a family with you, you don't respect him. It's clear. It's very evident. Because why else would this woman say, I thought that we supposed to do the Sierra prayer for a nice, corny Russell Wilson to save us from these toxic ends. What you need saving for? Because you calling them corny too. You don't need to be saved. You need to be put on somebody's roster. You need to be on rotation. Because apparently you like that. Because what man is going to see this and look at you and say, oh yeah, she's calling me corny. I might as well marry her now.
Said it.
Every day I get on this internet, I just see stuff that don't make no sense to me. She talking about corny's not bad. Corny ain't bad. That's 70% of the ends in the industry. Girl, boo, stop. Stop it.
She's right. Corny ain't bad. Corny is bad. It's seen as an insult, people. Whether you like it or not, no matter how you twist the word, it is seen as a negative there is negative connotations regarding it. Negative connotations. No matter what. But again, to most people, it's that kick up the pants that they need. Bring on that corny, especially on a young man that is just finding his way in the world. Oh, you'll help him find the way, believe me. Believe me. Some may never get out of that corny stage, but to others that do, oh, the world is there, believe me. The world is indeed theirs. But the petulance of youth never really catches that. They never have the foresight to see down the road. It's okay. They'll learn in time, as she did.
So you say that, oh yeah, I said it once, I'll say it again. And Nick Cannon, corny too. I thought we were supposed to pray for a corny Russell Wilson. You're disrespecting all of these other men. And then you're going to come back and be like, well, it's not even bad. Let the same thing happen, and it's a man that says, I'm tired of these whack females. And a female calls him up and says, oh, yeah, you calling me whack, or whatever. You call me whack in high school. And he come out and talk about, well, whack isn't bad. Females are going to be like, what are you talking about? And the ignorance of these women is what gets me. Is because they know what strings to pull to get all the women on their side. And it works every time. So now, nobody's focused on the fact that he put somebody in a place humbled and embarrassed. These women and called them out as he should have. Kudos to Michael B. Jordan for doing so. But now, all these women are like, oh yeah, well, because he was dating all them white women. What does that have to do with the price of tea?
Exactly.
In China.
There it is.
Honestly, what does that have to do with anything? Nothing.
And she's right. Trying to get herself out of this situation, you disrupt and distract. Disrupt and distract. Put them onto a different track. Meaning that, let's not admonish him for his corniness. Let's admonish him for his dating habits. But here's the thing. His dating habits were probably formulated by their actions from earlier on in life. He's probably turned off by white women, by black women who called him corny. So he said, I'll see another race then. And we're going to see something a little bit later about that. But they don't see the fact that they were pushed into the life of seeing other races because of your actions. There is a psychological effect there. Some people can live with it, but others they'd rather not. They'd rather not. So disrupt, distract. Take people off the page of your embarrassing comments. Try to get the embarrassment off of you by calling out another deficiency of his. supposed deficiency. Rita's right. It's part of the 304 Modern Woman Playbook. Never take accountability. Moving on to another subject. Admonish them for that, and take people's eyes off what is really important here. That your words had an effect that was deemed positive overall, but back then was definitely negative. Can be deemed as negative, but he turned it into a positive. And that's why I ask most of my young corny guys out there right now, don't take it as a negative. Use it as a positive. Use it as fuel and not fire. Get yourself into the gym. Make yourself into a better person. Sharpen up on your presentation skills. Make yourself into a man that people admire. And then look back at those lames, those idiots who called you corny back then, and look at their lives. Look at their lives now. That's why it's the corny dudes who write the checks in this world. It is the corny dudes indeed.
You're only saying that so that other black women won't look at you like Boo Boo the Fool, and they'll support you for the nonsense that you're saying. Oh yeah, you right, girl. I was gonna say you was wrong, but you are right, cause you know he's so corny. But when he was with Lori Harvey, all of y'all was mad. Were white women mad that he was with Lori Harvey? Absolutely not. Black women were mad.
Yeah.
Oh, he gonna go with her? She been with this and she been with that, but he was corny. This is another this is another part of the post that she put. She put the blogs only post half bull crap. Okay? And she's saying they mad at her when it was me who called him corny. So what do you want? What do you want for bringing this to her? Do you want a cookie? Like, do you want a hand clap?
Thank you very much for that, Reva. But at the end of the day, it was a case of, at the end of the day, the woman wanted to distract and disrupt. She didn't want to be accountable. She wouldn't want to stay sorry. She just doubled down and she said, "Oh, they took me out of context." The fact of the matter is, you called the man corny. End of story. And he calls you out on it. End of story. And you're just trying to disrupt and distract and get everybody's mind off that by calling out his dating habits rather than your bullying tactics from way back when. But it's all right. Let's move on. Thank you very much, Reva, for that. Do go subscribe to Reva. She has a wonderful, wonderful platform in which presents these said issues. We're going to go to a new lady that I've referred to here. Yes. What's her name now? Here we go. Yes. Shay Charday. Yes. Shay Charday. And she has a pretty relatively new platform that's on YouTube here. But she was speaking about how black women lose good black men. Those corny black men that people refer to, or the passport bros, simply because of their attitudes. But this one comment, I wanted to bring to your attention. One. It was issued by this Coach D in the podcast. And it's a pretty good discussion, but again, it is rather lengthy. It's about an hour or so long. But this one thing sets this podcast apart. This one comment sets this podcast apart. And it literally comments on the journey of black men from boyhood to manhood, especially when you are in an awkward phase. Let's continue with that.
Hence the exodus of black men from the United States. That what you just touched on is exactly why black men are going beyond just dating outside their ethnicity. They're saying, you know what, the problem lies here in this land. It's time to roll. And unfortunately, Ms. Sade, I applaud your work, but your work is a little too much too late to stem this. This has been happening for 50 plus years. I think I've said this to you once before. it is going to take twice as long to undo the damage that has happened because it is generation after generation. My illustration is this. The brothers that are found as Corny and so forth fall into these three categories, which I fell into. One, the category of Steve Urkel. He is intelligent, but he's socially awkward. Two, the Wayman Tinsdale. After that same Steve Urkel grows up, becomes a man, and finds himself in a position of power and influence after all of his hard work is done. And like you said earlier on your show, those same men are expected to turn around and come back to the black community and stick their hand out and help the next man. But because of the trauma we felt, us being extracized by our own community, by our own people, because we spoke proper English, because we demonstrated intelligence as white acting, and the mindset becomes, why should we? Hence what I said earlier. The same black man, the same corny black man that you ghost and make fun of today will be the very same black man that you might have to stand in front of tomorrow to interview for a job, or to interview for that position that you wanted. And you're thinking, hey, this is a black man, this is a brother in there, he can help me out. And he's looking at you like, you came from here. Oh, I remember people like you. Why should I help you? I saw this exact same thing in the military. The third one is the Last Dragon character, Leroy, because he grew up differently. And I'll use Kobe Bryant as a perfect example. Kobe Bryant was an Army brat. Now, everybody made fun of him, but then suddenly when he became an NBA star, people couldn't get enough of him until they found out his wife was non-black. And after that man passed, there was nothing but days upon days of smoke. And as far as I'm concerned, black women as a collective in this country, you've done this to yourselves. The black men that you mentioned that are leaving, that have these resources and that are taking off, sisters, you have no one to blame but yourselves. The other side of this coin is the fact that there are good black women here in America. I'd be a fool to say that there aren't. However, they're standing right next to the hyenas, and that makes us very difficult. To us, it's like this. Oh, dang, a pack of lions. Am I going to take the risk to find out which lion is tame enough for me to roll up to it without getting torn to shreds? No, I just see a pack of lions. I'm going someplace else. I ain't finna get ripped up. That is what is happening with a lot of these brothers that are having same or shared experiences. The other side of it, those brothers that got into the dope game, they started off as that lame and corny fella, but because the gals wouldn't give them the time of day in high school, they got into the dope game because they saw their peers having that wad of cash, having that nice ride, and gals couldn't get enough of them. You know, I can go on and on about this, but I think everyone gets the picture.
Right. No, I hear you. I mean,
just stop it there for a second. A lot to unpack, a lot to contain, but it's the truth. This is the paradox. This is the story of black men in the developed world, especially those who are considered corny, who are considered lame, who are considered nerdy, who are considered social outcasts. There are three sectors of three segments of life that one can take on. Number one is the life of being that nerd, being that social outcast, being socially awkward, and being unable to, be considered an equal to their colleagues, especially during their high school years. So that's route one. Then route two is when they finally make a name for themselves. They finally get out of their social awkwardness. They work upon themselves. They work upon their bodies. They again make money, make muscle, learn game, and hold frame. And NLD said that. One of the red pill paragons out here. And quite simply, it was... it's when they've reached a certain level of power and influence that they tend not to look back because of the fact that these men, they remember that ridicule, they remember that heartache, they remember that heartbreak, that they suffered during their adolescent years and during their young malehoods, and they literally turn their backs on their own community because they see it as a form of revenge against them for making fun of them in their times of weakness, in their times of change. And again, so they see that as a way to get back against the community that ridiculed them, during their adolescent years. Then you have the gentleman who, again, would take it upon themselves to, who have made a name for themselves, but they take themselves out of their community. They say, you know what? This is a community that ridiculed me. This is the community that admonished me. Again, the Kobe Bryant example. And now he's made himself a success. But in doing so, he's turned his back on the women who made him that success. Turn them back on them completely because, again, they did nothing for him. All he has is bad memories of them, so he doesn't choose to make good ones. He doesn't choose to forget, which is his right. And now let's say this. In fairness, this happens to black women as well. When black men, consider certain women ugly and not exactly the cutest ladies on the block, when they become swans themselves, they would turn their back on their communities as well. So it does go both ways, but we're talking about black men in this instance. And again, black women have the utter gall and audacity to turn around and say, "Oh well, he's a sellout. He's an Uncle Tom. He's no good for our community simply because he turns his back on the women who ridiculed him all the way back when." Now, again, not all women did that to him, but again, it leaves a psychological effect. It does. And can we blame Michael B. Jordan for getting out of the game, especially after he dealt with another woman like that, Lori Harvey? You can't fault him for doing that. You can't. And then finally we go to those men who see these Pookies and Ray Rays, see the thug life, and then are gravitated to it, and then they become a part of it themselves, robbing this world of a potential leader of their community, and if not the world itself. And that's how this entitled thing. Thank you for Shay Charday to put this out there. How black women lose good black men. They lose them because of their activities way back when the black men were in their most influential state. And it's a shame. Although, listen. Michael B. Jordan gave a chance to black women, especially through Lori Harvey, but again, he was still considered a lame. So she left him and thought she'd get with this, I don't know if Damson Idris is not a lame, but anyways, but it brought back traumatic feelings, and then she went into doing her own thing, Lori Harvey, that is, and then, now Michael B. Jordan is supposedly dating a white girl, supposedly. But can we blame him? No, we can't. Especially when he has the world at his feet. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Whatever the hell he wants. Yes, thank you for Shay Charday for sharing that. We're going to go back into... Yes, indeed. This bit of information from, again, the Coffee Pod, from Chisa Zed and the Coffee Pod, and he calls out the karma that is developed once black women call out black men and who clown them. Karma's a bee, and women are indeed left to figure out what went wrong and try to disrupt and distract. Well, as my lady did say, that she was living in his shadow and having to pick up the pieces from a once foolish line of behavior. But again, I'm just going to follow this podcast on karma, on what lies for women and people in general who don't do the right thing, and who clown on people who we're in a awkward phase in life and may live to rue the day that they did it. Let's continue.
Coffee Pod. My name is Tisha Zed.
Drink the coffee.
So, guys, this is a situation that's been building up with popularity as this video has been making its round through social media. Imagine you went
Let's go back
on
to
the red carpet who used to call him Corny in school. So, guys, this is a situation that's been building up with popularity as this video has been making its round through social media. Imagine you went to school and you were the corny dude, right? You were the guy who wasn't necessarily cool enough, right? You were lame because maybe you weren't street. From this situation, looks like Michael B. Jordan maybe went to school with people who didn't think he was cool enough because, let's just keep it real here, he's not what you would label as hood, right? He wasn't street enough for a certain group of people he interacted with in school. Now imagine you decide to just be yourself as a black man in America, and you don't fit the stereotype, right? You're well-spoken and you're kind, and you get labeled as a nice guy because of it or whatever, but you become successful. Well, this is exactly what happened in this interaction, and unfortunately for this chick, she got called out for how she treated Michael B. Jordan back in school. But here's what's crazy about this is how everybody reacted to the situation. So I'm going to play the video, and then we're going to check out some of the reactions from the people. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
That's the show. We got Michael B. Jordan, the director and the star of Creed.
Put some respect
3.
on it.
And we know each other. We go way.
And you can see just by the look of Michael B. Jordan, he was waiting for this. He was waiting for this moment. All those days of hard work and toil have come to this. Well, it hasn't really come to this. This is not the nadir of his career, but it's definitely one of the perks of it. Well, definitely one of the fabulous byproducts of a successful life is that you can look dead in the eyes of your detractors and let them know they can never ever be you. And they realize deep in their hearts that that is indeed the case. And believe me, it eats them up inside. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and that is a cold stare. He couldn't wait to get to her. He couldn't wait to have some time with her, because he was going to make her look like a fool. Let's continue.
Back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay? No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say Corny. I said we used to make fun of the name. But yeah, he is obviously killing things out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you could tell that he was immediately, she walked up to him to interview.
You know what you could tell? You could tell that he took her soul. It was that. Let's run that back one more time. You could tell when he took her literal soul.
No, you did not hear me say Corny.
No. Right here. No, I gotta go back all the way back. Let's.
No. Way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
Corny kid, right?
No.
Right there. At that exact moment, he took her soul. That was a soul taking, people. Make no bones about it. He took her soul. And there was no way she could get it back. That's why I say, when you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Because those same stones could be your bones. And he literally took her bones right then and there. No matter how much she attempted to distract and disrupt and try to laugh it off, she knew her soul was taken. Taken from her. Taken from her. Make no doubt about that. And I'm here for it all day long. Because you know what? When you finally get to see a soul being... listen, it's like an accident on the road, right? You can't help but slow down and take a look. And this is just must-see TV. Again, let's move it on.
Did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say Corny. I said we used to make fun of the name. But yeah, he is obviously killing things out.
What's up? She was trying to find a hole in which to crawl in. She knew that this was going to be a rough night. Rough night. She thought, oh, maybe he won't remember and such and such and such. And the fact of the matter is, she brought it to his attention. What are you doing? What are you doing? The fact that they went to the same school, she brought it to his attention. Continue.
Oh, here.
Yo, you could tell that he was immediately, she walked up to him to interview him. He already was not feeling that interview. He said, what's up? What's up? Like, keep it 100 right here with the cameras. Come on, you know you were calling him corny back in the day, right? But now you have to drink this coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
That's what I'm talking about. So this chick goes by the name of Laurel. She's like a host for different platforms, it looks like. One of those people.
There's a name. Finally, get a name. Laurel. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Goes up and asks people questions in this specific situation. We know Creed 3 is coming out on March 3rd. I enjoy the Creed series. In this particular third part that's coming out, I know Michael B. Jordan directed and is also starred in. Looks like they've got a pretty good crew of actors. But yeah, this chick Laurel, she's like host type. I think she's in a couple of podcasts, etc. Pretty active, kind of like not famous, but enough clout that you're going to be rubbing elbows with the people who you have to call great now, who you made fun of back in school. Guys, listen, I'm not too surprised about this. Are you really surprised that black women in specific, because this has to come back to culture and the black community, are we really surprised that there were some black women when he went to school who thought Michael B. Jordan was corny because he wasn't street enough? No, we're not surprised. Why? Because that happens often. And is it really even more surprising the man who wasn't doing shit that you thought was cool out in these streets, doing better than most of the people you went to school with? because he was maybe focused and didn't want to jeopardize his career and his path towards greatness. I don't think any.
And guess what helps you to that path for greatness? That same admonishment that you faced while you were growing up. That is a fuel that cannot be extinguished. Once you get punked, enough. And you use that ridicule constructively, believe me, you can run this planet on the fuel of what they have done. That's why I say bullying is not a bad thing. Bullying should not be ruled out of place, because bullying helps people become better people. I wholeheartedly agree with that. When I was considered an overweight kid back in the day, I mean, it wasn't so bad, but the ridicule was there, and I realized that I needed to make myself into a better person. I had to get myself into the gym. I had to, while I educated myself, and that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. And it made me into a better person. It made a guy like Michael B. Jordan a better person. Much better person. It made him focused. It made him driven. It made him hungry. It made him the best that he could be. Again, there's no greater incentive one can have than to be bullied by your peers. Believe me. It stokes a lot of fires in one's belly. No doubt about that. And I don't think Michael B. Jordan would be the person who he is right now, if not for that. So he should thank this Lauren lady for her service. Making him look like a fool so he can become a star.
That shit's surprising. But anyways, we're going to talk more about that. Let's check out a few of these comments. First comment says, I know she drove home and sat in the driveway in silence talking about today drained me. Hilarious, funny. 3K likes. Next comment says, crazy thing is y'all bashed him when he was with a white girl, but this is proof that those same women considered him, Michael B. Jordan, as the corny kid before he blew up. And corny kid in quotation marks. So yeah, man. He goes on to say, cut the BS. Y'all only want nice guys after they blow up, not when the playing field is even. Now, I can't say if Michael B. Jordan was a nice guy growing up. But what I can say is, looking at the way he conducts himself in interviews, etc., he's respectful. He's a kind dude. Nice guy to women, I don't know. That's not what this is about. You don't have to be a nice guy for women to call you corny because you're not street or hood enough, because you speak too proper, right? When it comes to some black women, you're going to be corny out here if you're staying out of illegal activity, if you're responsible, right? If you avoid doing drugs, if, yes, and respectful and being nice falls in there. But there are plenty of people out here who are labeled corny by a lot of black women because they don't present themselves as that like stereotypical black man. Another comment here.
Again, black women are drawn, a lot of black women, especially when they're younger, are drawn to drama. Drawn to it like a moth to a flame. They're drawn to the Pookies and Ray Rays of this world. They're drawn to the Chaz and Tyrones of this world. They want to be. They love being treated badly. They love being treated badly, and as my man said on the Shay Sade interview, it is a sickness that's been going on for 50 years or more. 50 years or more. And it's got to stop. We'll be back for part 2 in just a bit, guys. Stay with me. We're going to come back in part 2 in just a bit. This is what they do at Instagram right now. You got to have it on an hour. But I think this is something we got to be talking about that much more. So stay with me on Instagram. Come on back in just a bit. Talk Live part 2 coming. Oh, sorry. Let's do this. 39. Dropping. Let's go with, oops. Back in live for part 2 of Talk Live. Thank you for keeping up with me and joining me on part 2 of Talk Live. Again, this is an Instagram thing, and I'm hoping they stop this. But again, they only keep it to an hour per episode. I mean, an hour per viewing, and then they have to reboot and then you have to start all over again. So, thank you for keeping on with me here on Talk Live, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So, just to recap. Let's, and to my YouTube viewers, thanks for staying with me here. Let me see if there's any comments out there. And, yes, we're good. Oh, here we go. Harry by Glenna said, it's not about revenge, though. Better just to live well. Indeed. Better just to live well. Thank you, Harry by Glenna. And here's the thing. It is better to live. It's not about revenge. No, I think it was never about revenge. I think it's about redemption. Hair by Glenna. Thank you for the comment. I think it's about redemption. And let me go back to the full cam. Redemption in the sense of once given the opportunity to, look down at the haters and realize that, and let them realize that they could not break you down, bring you down for whatever reason. I think that is the sweetest bit of comeuppance of all. That they could not break you down despite your their attempts to do so. Quite simply. They wanted to break him down. They called him corny. They called him lame. But that is a test that all of us must face. And I think it is a great test. And it is a test that makes us men. Makes us the people we want to be. And as I said, if we're left drifting through life, without these sort of tests in our lives and in our and stumbling blocks in our way, then we won't be the people that we want to be. And I don't think Michael B. Jordan will be the star that he's become, because he needed that inspiration. We got to see that as fuel. We got to see it as inspiration when you're being called corny, when you're being called names, when people are trying to to tear you down. You got to be stronger than that, because it prepares you for life. That's the long and the short of it. All that admonishment prepared Michael B. Jordan for the life he's living right now. And life has a funny way of letting people know of your success and I wouldn't say letting people know of your success and letting them feel small for what they've done to you. So I wouldn't be calling. I think that's the. You know what? Let's combine that comment. I think the best revenge is living well. Is letting people know that you've lived well, and quite simply allowing others to see that well living themselves. So I think there's a tie-in to your comment there, but I thank you very much for it. And we're going to get back to it right here. Thank you very much for that comment, actually, Glenna. Very, very nice for you to be here tonight. But let us continue back on the show here. And we're going to get back to the commentary in just a bit. But thank you for joining me at Talk Talk Live. Again, live on IG and YouTube, as I said. We just had Glenna here on YouTube. I've had comments on IG earlier on. We try to do this in tandem. And again, to all those who are waiting for my IG shows that are upcoming, they will be downloaded as of this week. So look out for that. But let's continue with this.
He says the correct response should have been, I'm sorry for calling you corny back then. 100 plus likes. That's true. Another comment here says he will prepare.
Let's stop there for a second. Did she apologize? Or did she double down in her statement? I mean, it was pointed out by Reva earlier on. Yeah. It was alluded to, but at the end of the day, Nola, if that's her name, I think it's Nola, right? I think it's Nola. What do we got here? 518. Just checking to see the name. I think Nola is her name. Yeah. Yes, Nola being her name. No, Laurel. Sorry, Laurel. My bad. Laurel, her name, never did apologize for her statements. Never did apologize for what she did call him way back when. I think most of this could have blown over if she did. She could have ended this whole controversy if she humbled herself and took accountability for her actions. But she never did. She doubled down. He said, "Oh, corny and lame, and this and this and that," and then she attempted to distract and disrupt, and literally came to the conclusion that she was going to double down on those statements. She said, "Oh, well, Russell Wilson's doing this and that," and you know, that's the reason why we said the Russell Wilson prayer, and also the fact that Michael B. Jordan's dating somebody else. Anything to dissuade people from what should have come out as an apology. And that's a shame. She never learned from her episode back then, so she'll keep making those mistakes. And those mistakes will be brought to her attention again and again and again. Because this won't stop. This is a bad mark on her career. That she called somebody corny and lame. But she wanted to disrupt, instead of taking accountability, which is kryptonite to a modern woman, to a lot of modern women, and humble herself in that apology and becoming and growing from that to become a better person. But she never did that. Let's go on.
The correct response should have been, I'm sorry for calling you corny back then. 100 plus likes. That's true. Another comment here says he will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. That's a scripture right there. Hilarious. Another comment here from another woman says she tried to throw that they knew each other in for clout, being thirsty, and she played herself. Yeah, man. She started out talking about, yeah, and you know what, me and you, we know each other. You used to hate him, but now you got to claim him. That's crazy.
As I said to you beforehand, if she didn't want to be called out, she tried, but I'm sure Michael B. Jordan wasn't going to let her get away with it. But at least if she tried to not call out the fact that she had once attended the same school as Michael B. Jordan did in Newark, she may have got away with this. But her hubris and her zest for attention and adulation at the fact that she has prior knowledge and had a history with Michael B., it ended up biting her in the ass. It ended up biting her in the ass. And that, my friends, is It's laughable to be fair and frank, because she thought that she was above the fray and that he could never remember back in the day. And I'll even throw in his face that that I knew you from way back when. But once it came back around to you, once it came back around to Laurel, and she was embarrassed for her hubris, for her suspected knowledge of a star that hopefully would have elevated her career. That's the only reason why she did it, so she can get more likes. Oh, I know Michael B. Jordan. Oh yeah, then you'll get more likes, you'll get more attention, you get greater assignments. But now you got to take an L on that, and we'll never know how far you could go. But she'll keep trying. But this is a stain on her career. Let's not make that any misunderstanding.
He was a lame, but now he's famous. Mercy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. She said, be grateful he's a gentleman, and didn't dub that whole interview. Yeah, most guys would have been hella petty. And guys, someone like Michael B. Jordan, a lot of the way a man turns out, the way that he handles things, and the way that he carries himself through life, really comes down to the way that individual was raised. And you can't undo some of that shit, man. You really cannot. Being respectful and being kind, these are all good things that make your life better. I was raised up that way myself. And there are plenty of people who interpreted that as, oh yeah, he's a lame, whatever. It is what it is. I didn't care. I realized that in my life, I had more peace by being responsible, not trying to fit in and trying to be cool. If you're a guy out there, this is a message for everybody, but especially black men. And you're looked at as lame because you're responsible, because you want to prioritize maintaining stability and peace. And your life may be boring to women. Because I'll tell you the truth, man, women are great at this. They're great at the labeling, oh, the guy's lame, whatever, right? They're much more artful and know how to use their words, because men deal with conflict differently, right? There's a fine line between men and understanding of violence, etc. But that's why things women often say are effective, because that's how they fight, right? That's how they express themselves. So a lot better than men do. But I just want to encourage any man out there, if you're somebody who's decided to not try to fit in to be cool, you're deciding to get your life together, you're deciding to not party, you're deciding to avoid doing drugs, you're deciding to better your life. And because of that, because of your stable, boring life you're viewed as lame, take it. Take it. Because I assure you, you will be in a better position years down the line than the people who weren't so lame. A lot of people lived their 4 best years back in high school, right? Because I assure you, that's who Michael B. Jordan was. I just saw an interview with him on Millionaire something podcast. But he was talking about how throughout his whole life, he's always been somebody who's learned to implement delayed gratification. He's been willing to sacrifice what he wants now for a better future. If you're somebody who truly wants to improve yourself, who truly wants to win in the end, a lot of that looks like a lame, boring life in a front end. So don't allow this theory force to get in your head, man, because there'll come a point where they will eat your words. That's facts. Next comment.
Let's, again, go back. And he raised a very good point. He raised a very, 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 very good point. If you're there to listen to it, thank you for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube, on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, and comment. Here's the thing. Yes. It's good to be a lame. It's good to be corny. Why? Because, as he said, you're responsible. You're kind. You're an overall good person. You're conscientious. You're goal-driven. You'll be one of the winners in life if you're considered a lame. Because, as again, you'll use whatever the the words that they use to beat you down with against them, and you'll have the temerity to, be classy in the way you represent yourself, not only in public but in private. I mean, as he's saying, Michael B. Jordan could have cooked her in many a different way. He could have made this much bigger than he once did, but he's a classy guy. He came from good stock. He didn't have to do that. What he did then and there in terms of checking her, yes, but letting her sit in the ooze that she had created, she and her friends way back when had created, that was indeed the best revenge possible. The best revenge. And to be fair, that's what corny people do. They leave people to their own devices in the understanding that they are one of life's winners. And they move on with life in full knowledge that that admonishment helped them to be a man, but they realize that deep down they're classy, good, noble, kind-hearted, sweet people. It's responsible people. And that's what's going to get them through life. And that is what's going to make them a winner. Because you need that fire to help better yourself. But don't let that cloud your judgment and raise the negativity. Because these are all positive things that they're calling out. And believe me, it'll serve you well in the end.
Here says, that was so lame of her comment at the end, embarrassing. Yeah, at the very end of the video, she actually says, you're not lame anymore. If you go watch the whole video, no, she says, you're not corny anymore. Right. Another comment here says, you called him corny, now you got to call him actor, director, superstar, Hollywood mogul, living legend. He took that shit personally. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, he took that. He took it personally. He took it personally. That's why I said that's the fire he needs. That was the fire he needs to become the success that he was. Let's see if there's any commentary here on the other side on Talk Live. Just checking it out. Yes. Well, we're good to go. We're good to go. I'm just checking on the comments. So, let it be said. Being lame and corny means you're a good person deep down, but let it also be said that you can become an even better person by using what they said to become even greater than you ever thought you'd be. Because that fire, that drive will stay with you. To make you stronger, to make you fitter, to make you smarter, to make you more accountable, to make you more responsible, make you a better person overall. And I thank Chisa Zed for his commentary there. To be fair, now I could have gone to another video. Oh, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. We got here. What kind of thing we got here? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Now he's got a little bit thing. Now I'm going to go into a little bit into his commentary about Laurel and him not being corny anymore. So let's just let's get down to it here quickly with because this is part 2 of his commentary on the Michael B. Corny Corny controversy. And this is one from that stated, "Now I'm alone, single. Michael B. Jordan is rich and famous." Well, yeah, that's exactly what happens, to corny guys. So let's they're the ones who, at the end of the day, write checks. So let's go into it right here.
His name was Michael Jordan. Let's start there. And he was no Michael Jordan. And then he also would come to school with headshots. And back then, that was like in the hood. We lived in Newark.
Yeah.
Like that's the hood. You know what I mean? So we would make fun of him, like, what you got to do with your little stupid headshots? Like, and now look at him.
Now look at him. He got like Phantom money.
Well, yeah, I didn't exactly.
Once again, that's her on her podcast that she participates in. I don't even know the name because I care not to listen anyway. But she makes a jackass out of herself, and she literally calls herself and saying, "Oh yeah, we did say those things." So she can't exactly take it back. She can't exactly say that she never said these things. She did. She did. Making her what? Well, making a fool out of herself. And instead of being accountable for it, she makes it into a joke, saying, "Yeah, we call him Kane, we call him corny. We call him lame, we call him corny. Okay, Laurel, fine. But now you're going to his premiere, remember that. Now it's through him that you get paid. Just saying. But let's continue with my man Chizza on this subject.
As you guys heard for yourself right there, the first chick was basically calling him corny, which is really interesting, man, because women will call men like Michael B. Jordan corny and lame, etc. Oh yeah, we know that's the type of guy who will treat us nice, will wife us up, but we don't want that, right? We want Pookie. We want to be smacked around and left single and with child. Both these women who are talking, I went on both of their Instagram profiles, and I don't see a husband on any one of their Instagram pages, which should let you guys know something, man. Don't feel bad for these women. That's the first thing I want to say. It's so easy. After the 100th video I make, like, "Oh, Chisha, you really still going hard on a coffee pot on these women. When are you going to stop?" Never. When are you going to take your foot off their necks, bro? Never. Because men need to be aware. They know what's good for them. She literally said in this video, like, yeah, he's probably the type of guy who's going to treat you good or provide. And let me not, because guys, this is not about being a nice dude. Because I say don't be a nice guy. Don't seek to please a woman. Be honest with the woman. Where you want respect, demand respect. Be honest with what your expectations are. But this goes way beyond just being a nice guy. A lot of people conflate like the nice guy and kind, respectful person. You can be kind and respectful, but still not tolerate disrespect, bullshit, 3 or 4 behavior, modern womenism. I just made that one up myself. Kind of proud of that one. Someone write that down. But you can be the...
Again, he's right. He's absolutely right. You know what? Sometimes these girls got to get checked. They got to get checked. They're way too fast and loose with their comments. They think they could just laugh it off. They don't want to take accountability. Nah, you got to check them. And he checked them. Michael B. Jordan checked Laurel. And thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. He checked Laurel on that. And so she deserved to be checked. But the fact of the matter is, it's not as if she's taking accountability, she apologizes. No, she's doubling down. But this is what happens to the modern woman. Modern women do this. They double down on their mistakes. They never become accountable for their activities, unfortunately. Girls who learn, girls who understand of what they do, then they make those amends. They make those choices. They eventually become better women or men because of it. And they eventually learn from their mistakes and become better people. But not Laurel, unfortunately. She'll have to, If you don't learn from, it's the old saying, you don't learn from mistakes, you're liable to repeat them. Or something to that effect. And she'll make that mistake again, and she'll get called out for it again. Although this is a pretty big scar. She's gonna wear this for a while. And other stars will remind her of it. Aren't you the one who called Michael B. Jordan corny? Oh, yeah. And she can't laugh that off. Especially if she wants to, get that attention she so richly loves being in said industry of entertainment. Sorry. Let's continue.
Those things without being the mascot. What it is he's not as exciting. He wasn't in the streets. Oh, he doesn't talk black enough. All that. She said they went to a school that was in the hood, and they made fun of him. That was Laurel, the lady he accused of hey, you were the one that was calling me corny back in school. And she admits here that we used to make fun of Michael B. Jordan. He was not a cool guy. We made fun of him because he brought headshots. So she's talking about, I'm assuming, headshots of himself because he wanted to be a model or go into acting. And he took himself seriously. Just that alone lets me know how focused he was about his goals and what he wanted to do in life, right? Knowing that he took headshots to school. Both of these women made fun of him. I'm sure other chicks made fun of him too. Oh, my bad, guys. There's actually a second part to the audio here. I'm going to play it for you guys real quick. But again, does it sound like she was endorsing that he is corny? Or does it sound like she might have actually called him corny back in the day? Let's check out this second part. Let's go.
I could have been in the aquarium swimming with the fishes, but
with your Hermes stock or whatever.
Instead I'm swimming in Mexico by myself, child. But anyway.
Yes, you are. Right where you belong, by yourself in Mexico.
But
I love that comment from Chizza. Yes, you are alone swimming in Mexico. Yes. She's trying to say she lives this life of affluence, but she's a workaday girl with vacation time. So she said, "I'm alone." So it's her acknowledgement that she lost out this time. She took an L here. She took an L. She took a big fat L here for her ridiculous behavior that came to bite her right in the ass later on in life. And Lord knows karma has such a way to set things up for you to find the downfall. That's why I say try to be as good as long as you can, because guess what? Life has a way of humbling you if you do wrong. Life has a way of taking you down if you do wrong. As it did in this case. Let's continue.
He gives me cookie cutter. And the only time I hung out with Michael B is in LA. At Terrence Jay's house, and he's always just very he's just cool. I think
he's too rich to have to be hood now. Boy, if you want to take him millions and go to Hermes and get some.
He's too rich to have to be hood now. The caption from the Shade Room, which shared this audio clip, read, "Looks like Laurel was right. The host went viral after a clip of her red carpet interview with Michael B. Jordan started making its rounds online, but old podcast audio shows she was telling the truth." No, he was talking about school. Right, he was talking about being called corny in school, not on the podcast. So, guys, watch how the Shade Room, which is a female-based, really media outlet, is trying to clear this chick's name, trying to paint her in a good light. Maybe she works for them or something. I don't know. But he was obviously talking about school. The caption goes on to read, in the clip that is now viral, Michael mistakenly thought that Laurel, an old classmate, referred to him as corny during a 2021 episode of her podcast. However, it was her co-star, Dominique the Diva, that made the comment while discussing Michael's past relationship with Lori Harvey. All right, so they're trying to clear her name right there, but I'm just not buying it, man. Because she also confessed that we used to make fun of this guy in school. Same difference, same thing. I don't think this clears anything. But what do you guys think? Comment down below. Let's check out a few of these comments and see what people have to say. First comment here says, I thought he meant she called him corny when they were in school together. Exactly.
Yeah.
5K likes. Another person here says, but y'all get mad when corny ones become successful and choose another race. Ooh.
Oh. No. Oh. There is that issue, isn't it? Well, we talked about that just earlier on. We talked about that when we were in with Shay Sade. Those activities can leave lasting scars, not only mentally, but mental scars. Let's face facts in different ways. Mentally, in terms of inspiration, but mentally in terms of their choices in the women they want to be with, the men they want to be with. If you get a woman or a man who's admonished by the rate as being an ugly duckling or being lame and corny, guess what? Don't be surprised if that man chooses another race simply because they weren't accepted in their own community when they were the most vulnerable. When they needed the most care, comfort, and understanding. Don't be surprised. And he chose another race, now they're hating him on it? Why? You created him. This is who you... Through your actions, he made his choices. And there's no two ways about it.
Have to worry about not being street enough or not being hood enough if you date outside of your race. Hey, and this is coming from somebody who is engaged to a black woman. Next comment here says, "Child, send me a corny man then." This chick's like, okay, I want a corny man with the eye roll emoji. Next comment says, men that carry themselves with respect have to stop.
Now, here's the thing, right? They'll send you a corny man when, more often than not, they're in trouble. Not when they're at their youngest and their hottest. It's only when they've found themselves in the actual SHIT. And when that has hit the fan. But in my time on this planet, I realized that, you leave people to their own devices. And at the end of the day, don't be suckers. Don't be the cleanup crew to their mistakes.
Not being labeled as corny. It's getting old. Yeah, if you carry yourself with respect and you live a stable life, because you're not trying to F up your credit or end in jail. If you drink coffee, you will be called corny. Another comment here from a gentleman says, she didn't say he wasn't either. She went along and added to the point. Very true. She kind of backed it up, right? Another chick here says, who cares? They call Russell Wilson corny too, and he treats Sierra like a queen. Maybe she has a point. Again, guys, this is why I said in the very beginning, is being corny isn't really taking care of your woman. To most of these women, just living a life of stability that's not full of drama will be considered corny, right? We're not going to make Russell Wilson the standard of who men should be, because men don't respect Russell Wilson for other reasons, right? It's just him being a simp. We're not going to add that in there with self-respect. Those are two different things. And
that's a hard truth. That's a very hard truth. And he brings it to light. Now, yeah, some people consider him corny, but men don't respect him because he's taking care of another person's child. There's no sense of responsibility, redemption for taking care of another man's child these days. Not anything really. Unfortunately not. And that's the reason why Russell Wilson's called corny, because he's cleaning up somebody else's mistakes and mess. And men realize that is not something that they should be doing. So we are here telling Russell Wilson that, break up with Sierra for Christ's sake. Anyways, continue.
Another gentleman responded back to that chick and said, so treating a woman right is corny. Laugh out loud. Y'all women are so lost. It's sad. Russell Wilson is just it. Next comment says, and women will argue all day. The nice guys don't finish last. Yet the nice guys always called corny. Michael B. Jordan should have got her number just to get some easy neck.
Wow.
In quotation marks, he says, and it would have been easy. Then block her. This is true. Why do I have the feeling?
Again, this man, listen, Russell could have done much, 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 much worse. But he had the class and the temerity to not stoop to that level. Success is the best revenge possible. Success is the best revenge. Yeah, he could have, done much more to to gain revenge on that individual, but he didn't. And Lord knows it's good that he didn't have to do that. So let's get. Just stop that. I wonder how many men would abstain from getting such revenge. I wonder how many men in spaces of power wouldn't, go that extra mile to rub it in, as they say. Something to think about. Let's continue.
Deals with these type of situations. It's like smash and dash. Next comment here says, nah, she's beneath him in response to that guy. MBJ is international. He shouldn't associate himself with hood rats. 16 likes right there. And the guy responded back and said, nah, a nut from her, then a complete ghosting is the ultimate get back. Laugh out loud. Guys, what do you think? Do you think it's even worth the headache at that point? I think it's easy to say this if you're not in a situation where you're in the spotlight. Because most of these women, just imagine whoever Michael B. Jordan is seen out with, or they could show proof that he was DMing or texting. Notice every chick Michael B. and don't let it be a white girl. But every chick he gets with, boom, trending everywhere. And they look down on him for dating outside the race. He started dating Lori Harvey. Oh, look at him. He's just doing that to please us. Asked her to marry him. She said no. Yeah, she didn't have to marry him. Plus, he doesn't like black women anyway. The guy can't win. The guy can't win.
And there it is. There's nothing else to say about that. The guy can't win. Either you put L'Oreal in her place. Lord, she got that from a goddamn shampoo bottle. Anyway, I don't know how the hell she get that hood name. Ooh, my God. Anyway, nonetheless, I digress. Let me stay above the fray. You can either play around with this chick and she resort to hood ways, expose himself, and then lowers his value. So again, his status is maintained. But then again, he does the right thing. He goes out with Steve Harvey's daughter and proposes, and she says no, and he moves on with his life, and then he's admonished for that as well. So you can't win. He's right. You can't win. You can't win. So, but I think you win overall by just not dealing with it. Just because, again, it can get ugly, it can get messy, it drags down your status, and that's one thing that men don't want to be dragged down in, and that is their status. Continuing.
Man. Next comment here says, exactly, if you're not rude and toxic, black women will call you corny. The facepalm emojis. Another comment here says, nice guys, in quotation marks, are just as bad as thugs. Ask any woman and they will tell you when they gave the nice guy a chance, he did them worse than any other. Real nice guys don't refer to themselves as that. They show it through their actions. So I actually agree with this comment. I don't think men should strive to be nice guys. Don't be nice, right? Don't be a nice guy, because at the end of the day, a lot of nice guys think just because they're nice, then they deserve special treatment. No, be real. Be honest with what you're looking for out here. You start being labeled an a-hole As soon as you start having expectations, qualifications for what you're looking for, and you're direct with women, when it gets to that point where they're like, hey, I want a relationship with you, and you look at a woman and say, hey, this is what I require or what I look for in a person who I would want that with. Depending on the type of expectations you have, and you're not trying to please that woman, put her on a pedestal, not worshiping her like God, doing the Russell Wilson thing, you stop being the nice guy at that point. So again, don't allow this is more than nice guy, is what I'm basically trying to say. It's way more than just being a nice guy. It's this idea that one of the comments there said of like men who have self-respect, men who are not hood enough, men who stay out of trouble, men who speak too proper, being labeled as boring nice, and these women wanting excitement instead. I think they should get what they want, but as long as they don't really complain about it. And you got to stop feeling bad for these chicks when they pick toxic men. Next comment here says, and y'all want...
Just stopping there, and he brings up a good point, a very good point, is the fact that nice guys want revenge. Nice guys want revenge. When they've been, dealing with ridicule and heartbreak and heartache and disrespect for most of their lives, nice guys will want to seek revenge. And then then these nice guys treat women like garbage. And he's right. He's just, it's best to be real than be nice. Best to be real than be nice. Because when you're real, people respect that. And I try to extol that myself. I try to be real. That's why I don't have ladies, coming after me at the end of the day. I try to, and I have a clean life, and I don't have anyone really hating me over time, but again, it's best to be real than be nice. He's absolutely right, yes. But let's take this one last comment.
Wonder why they date white women when they become successful. This the reason why. Next comment from another person says, she did call him corny with exclamation mark. That's a backhanded compliment. Another person here added, people need to realize whenever someone makes fun of a person, that person will never forget how you made them feel. I don't care if it's high school, you'll never forget. Be careful how you treat people. Eventually the tables will turn. Sis gotta eat what comes with her actions. Next, she says,
and that is, I think, the last comment that I'll hear from Chisora on the subject is, and it's a very good comment to leave this post on, this podcast on, and this pod on, is the fact that, you know what? People never forget how you make them feel. And in this instance, L'Oreal made Michael B. Jordan feel like garbage by calling him lame and corny when he was just trying to get his start on his career. And in his own way, Karma came back and gave him the opportunity to show L'Oreal that what she did was wrong. But it's always best to be kind. It's always best to treat people like you want to be treated. Live by the golden rule. Live by the golden rule. And understand that your life would be much better for it. Much better. If you try to live a life of being genuine, being kind, being forthright, being disciplined, being friendly, being upstanding, being just a great person, life is much better for you. It is. I found that out. I found that to be yes. I try to greet everybody the way I want. I try to treat everybody the way I want to be treated. And if I haven't, let me repent in front of all. But as she said, you know what? Tables turn and people learn. You don't want to be on the other side of your mistreatment. You don't. But let's, I just, as my final point, I want to show you Forbes. Is there an ad blocker here? Oh, how do I say an ad blocker? Do I have an ad blocker here? Yes. I just want to pause the ad blocker. Hopefully this works. There we go. Thank goodness. Just want to show you the 10 richest people in the world. If you see it live here on Talk Live, let me see if I have any commentary in my... No, we're good. We do have one person looking out. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Again, like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So, let's get back to this. Here we go. The 10 top 10 richest people in the world. Now, they could be black, they could be white, they could be anything. This is universal. But I just wanted to show you something. Quite simply. I want to prove something to you. Top 10 richest people in the world. Now, that has changed from last year, but there are similar traits. In all these people. Thought I had pictures with them, but it's all right. It's okay. There we go. There we go. First one, Bernard Arnault. Worth $213.7 billion. Again, he's the owner of LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy. In charge of such brands as Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Moet Chandon, Sephora, Tiffany & Co. He's a lame. He's corny. Yep. He'd be considered corny by many people. Although he's rich, he's considered corny. Let's get some others on this list here. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. There he is. Again, the owner of Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter. 51 from Austin, Texas. Oh, actually from South Africa, really, but that's where he resides. He resides in Austin, Texas. And he's actually partly Canadian, actually. He moved to Canada for his 18th birthday, worked a variety of jobs, enrolled at Queen's University, Ontario, then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, where he earned a bachelor's degree in economics. A very smart guy, but you know what he is as well, guys? Before Tesla, before SpaceX, before Twitter, he's lame. He was corny. He was losing his hair until he actually grew it out, but he was one of those people. Yeah, he was lame. He was corny. He was corny too. He was corny too. Jeff Bezos, yes indeed, the owner of Amazon. I'm sorry, Twitter. Of Amazon, worth $126.3 billion. Yes. Broke his wife off about $600 million herself. Just because his wife Mackenzie divorced as part of the settlement. She got 4% of Amazon shares he kept 12% since he sold more of his stake and owns around 10% of the company. Since Amazon went public in 1997, Forbes calculated he has sold more than $27 billion of stock. He's lame too. He's corny too. That guy. If you ever seen his before picture before he went to the bald head and took some, performance enhancing, he was corny too. 59, corny. Corny individual. Larry Ellison, corny. You're getting the point here? Larry Ellison, owner of Oracle. He could be considered corny, although I don't know. But anyways, he could be considered corny. Warren Buffett, $105 billion. The great investor from Omaha, 92 years old. He's always been corny. He's always been corny. Bill Gates, $104.5 billion. Again, he was corny as well. He was a nerd. He was admonished by his peers. Not anymore. You getting the picture, guys? Carlos Slim Helú. I'm sure he's considered corny as well. $91.7 billion. Telecom and investments magnate. Google man, Larry Page. He was considered corny. He's about $85.5 billion worth. Let's move on. Let's go, guys. Because the list don't stop from here. Mukesh Ambani. He's in a bit of hot water himself. But he's a petrochemicals telecommunications magnate worth $83.7 billion. Corny. Usually Indians, those of Indian descent, South Asian descent, are really considered corny. Unfortunately. Sergey Brin, $82.8 billion of Google. 49 years old. He could be considered corny as well. But you get my meaning. This top 10 individuals on the Forbes richest persons list. All men. All corny. Look at them. It's Corn Central. If you're watching on Talk Talk Live. It brings me to this one simple lesson. The ones you consider corny one day will be your bosses the next. Guarantee it. So watch what you say to those who are the corny ones, because they usually run the planet. They're usually the ones who write your checks. They're usually the ones that can make or break your life. There's a list of cornballs there, and you can add to that Michael B. Jordan. He's corny too. Hell, I can be considered corny as well. Lucky I have a sense of humor that gets me out of trouble, but corny nonetheless. And all I'm saying is, people, especially to my women, and specifically to my black diaspora women in the developed world, we've got to get this, what I consider a sickness, what I consider a cancer in our society, where those with sense, those with purpose, those with knowledge, those with intelligence are considered the lowest among us. Especially during vulnerable stages of one's life. Because those six-pack, six figures, 6 feet tall, 6 inches or more gentlemen that you want, chances are they were corny at one stage. You get the odd few who weren't. Those were the Chads and Tyrones, but for the most part, they were corny. And it's up to you to see the diamonds in those lumps of coal. So treat people as you want to be treated. Because one day, you can end up just like her.
What are you supposed to get out of the fact that you are telling other women?
What do you get? What are you supposed to do telling other women that you can act with bad behavior without repercussions? Because sooner or later it's going to happen to you. So, thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. I just wanted to bring that up right there. That it's the corny ones who rule the world. It's the corny ones that sign your checks. And it's the corny ones that life will fashion out so that they will serve to have revenge on you. So it's best to be the best person you can be overall. Because the corny rule the world. The lames rule the world. The nerds run this planet. Whether you like it or not. And the tall, the six-pack, the six-figure, even the 6 inches or more all have to dance to their beat. Would you rather be on their side or another? It's up to you. Or would you rather be upset like my girl L'Oreal here? And embarrassed to boot. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We're going to end it here. And we'll be back on Thursday night with another topic. I thought that this was an important one, so I decided to put it out tonight. And this is a very hot topic in and of itself. So we'll probably get out a short on this topic. And that'll be upcoming really, really soon. And also, again, more cameras for the set here, more changes to everything that we have available. I'm going to get a soundboard here as well. I've recently got one. Now I found it. I had misplaced it for a time there, and now I found it, and now I'm going to hook it up with some sound effects so that we can get this thing a little more popping. And also, shorts are coming soon. Some 10-minute posts are coming on soon for YouTube. And also, we're going to keep building as we fly. So, again, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. I just found out my Raptors won tonight. Yes, indeed. They're on a little hot streak. Thank goodness for getting that Jakob Poeltl. Seem to be doing well after that. But again, yeah, we'll be back Thursday night. Thank you very much for your company and your time. I'm going to have a chat with a friend. And yeah, we're just going to let the night coast off into itself. All right. We'll see if I can get a quick workout in somehow, some way. Yeah, probably that way. Probably that way. Have a little workout and then let the nights take its course. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We'll be back on Thursday night. Good night from Toronto, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Spring summer line coming soon to this podcast. We'll talk soon. Peace. And to my YouTube viewers, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. I appreciate your company. I appreciate your patience. And again, thank you very much for the comment by here by Glenn. And we will be back on Thursday night. Yes, indeed. So looking forward to that. And we will speak to each other soon. So thank you for joining me on Talk Live, sponsored by Duntalk,